Congressman Adam Schiff joins us live from Washington. Congressman, good morning. Good to see you. Does this wrap up this issue? Does it go away or does it continue?
Well, I suppose it continues as long as the president continues to deny the obvious. But I think we'll put a final exclamation point on this issue, I hope, on Monday when Director Comey comes and testifies. I'll be asking him about the president's accusation against his predecessor that Obama illegally wiretapped him, and he'll have the opportunity there to, I think, directly refute this. If such a wiretap had ever happened, it would have to be with the acknowledgement and participation of the FBI. So I think the director can put this to rest once and for all.
I'm sure that everyone on the Hill watched Sean Spicer's press conference yesterday. Describe to me the level of frustration there is, not just with Democrats, which would be obvious, but with GOP members, that the White House is not only not taking this back, but pushing forward.
I think members on both sides of the aisle are more than scratching their heads. They're just worried, frankly, that you have a president of the United States and an administration that is willing to state things that are just fundamentally untrue and not back down from them. Interestingly, just within the last 24 hours, the White House is saying, okay, we're not going to slander British intelligence anymore. We're not going to repeat the claim, equally bogus, that the Brits were spying on us. They ought to show the same respect for our own intelligence community and say, okay, we're going to back off. We're not going to make this claim anymore. Instead, they just seem incapable of acknowledging what all of the chairs and ranking members of the intelligence committees have now said, which is there's no substance to this accusation.
All right, Congressman Schiff, this is a difficult thing for Republicans because they want to support their president. Obviously, you're a Democrat, so you're in a different position. What are they telling you off the record? What are the people with you telling you?
Well, look, I think they're very concerned about what they see in the administration. At the same time, there are things they want from this president. Many of them have tax cuts that will affect their districts that they want, or they have regulatory repeals that will help their industry and their districts. If they're from a mining district, they want the surface mining regulations repealed. If they've got people who are wanting to pollute local streams and rivers with a manufacturing process, they want those regulations repealed. So they want something from this president. They don't want to have to cross him, but they, I think, are growing increasingly concerned by the erratic nature of the administration, by the, often the incompetence of the administration, and in this case, the president's willingness to squander his own credibility with these claims because, just today, for example, we're hearing our Secretary of State threaten potentially the use of military force to stop North Korea from moving forward. The country needs to be able to believe its president if the president later tells the people that the North Koreans are mounting miniaturized nuclear weapons on ballistic missiles. And everything the president is doing and saying now is just undermining his ability to persuade the American people during a crisis that what he says is true.
There was a headline in the Washington Post this morning saying that part of the problem is the president's staff, that they can't keep quiet, and that's becoming a problem. Would you agree? There's certainly a lot of infighting, I think, among the administration's own staff and the White House staff, and probably the dirty little secret in the White House is that the leaks the president so often complains about, probably a great many of them come from his own White House. It's easier for him to say these are Obama leftovers, but, actually, some of these leaks may very well be coming from his own people. But, again, at the end of the day, an organization is run from the top of the organization, and that top is Donald Trump. If there's dysfunction, if there's distrust, if there's misinformation, if there's leaks, you have to ascribe responsibility at the top. And indeed, just this week, the president on Fox News stated, I want people to know the CIA was hacked, and people got a lot of things. That, if anyone else said it, would be considered a leak. And I'm still trying to find out what was the president referring to. Was that vetted by the intelligence agencies? Is he disclosing something we ought to know about WikiLeaks? Is it even accurate? So there are, I think, a lot of problems in leadership coming from the top down.
Congressman Adam Schiff in Washington, thank you very, very much. Of course, that is a...
Thanks, Stephen.